Hello guys, Raul from RaulReviews.com. A new device have hit the market, which is the Nexus 4. This is an LG device, so we wanted to see how it compares to the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 is a new device that we also know and we're very familiar, very high selling device right now. So what we're going to do is first of all presentation, simple box. On both boxes you get headphones, a charger, and a USB cable to charge the device. Both of them are pretty simple presentation, really simplistic, so we can get that out of the way now. Obviously, the Nexus 4 is a little bigger. It is a phone made by LG. It's a 4.7 screen with a 1280 by 768 IPS display. It also has a 1.5 quad-core Snapdragon S4 processor. This makes the device pretty quick, pretty fast. On the front camera, it has a 1.3 megapixel camera, and on the back, it's an 8 megapixel camera. This device comes in either 8 or 16 gigabytes. It's pretty solid, pretty thick, but it's thick enough. It's thick enough to feel it natural. The back is made of edge glass, and you can see a really nice surface. It looks pretty cool, and I love the fact that they branded it Nexus on it, and it has the serial number of that. Now we go to the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 is a platform that we already know, but of course updated. It is thinner, it's slimmer, and it's a little longer. It has a bigger screen with a 4-inch display. It has an aluminum body. In this version actually comes with LTE. Fortunately, of course, the Nexus 4 does not have that. Doesn't bother me, I'm on T-Mobile. Apple changed their port, and they went for a Lightning port while we keep a universal USB port on the Nexus 4. That makes a big difference because of all the accessories we have for this. Apple is just pretty much trying to make more money out of this. There's adapters for it, but still that means you're going to have to spend a little more. Both phones feel pretty good. This is a little lighter than what the Nexus is. Button positioning, on and off, is on the side on the Nexus. On and off is on top on the iPhone 5. Volume rockers are placed on the same size. The SIM insert on the iPhone is on the right side, while on the Nexus on the left. Both are devices that will reach good speeds on T-Mobile, AT&T. Why? Because it has a pentaband on the Nexus, and because T-Mobile have updated its network to receive higher data speeds on this. Not all cities are able to receive it yet. However, I live in Vegas, so we're one of those. Both phones have their own operating system, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Speed test on loading. Now booting time, you're going to get the logos from both companies, of course, Google and Apple. As you can see, the Nexus loaded up faster. Going for software, we have the iPhone running iOS 6. The iOS 6, it's a really nice interface, really clean, really easy to use. That is actually the latest from Apple. This gives you some different options to how to browse through the phone. It is, even though you can say it's iOS 6 with the new maps and the new things, it feels the same as the iPhone 1. It is boring at this point because we haven't get any major changes. It is the same concept, the same protocol, and that is something that it's not attracting me. The operating system, don't get me wrong, it's very smooth, very simple, very quick to access. If you see that having only one button is great. So what would I say about this? Okay, if you're coming from a completely different device and going to the iPhone 5, that's awesome, because you're going to be in an incredibly smooth and easy to operate platform, focusing on making this as user-friendly as possible. It is the same thing that happens with the MacBook Pros and their operating system. It is just very easy to use. So when you buy this from AT&T, of course the device comes locked if you're paying for the contract, which is $199. But what you can do is on eBay, you can actually pay $10 and it gets factory unlocked permanently. So that's not the big issue right now. While the Nexus comes already unlocked. It comes straight from unlocked from Google. So back to this. Again, I'm not going to go really deep into what the iOS 6 does or whatever, but on its smoothness, on how easy and responsive it is, and how good it looks. It looks great. I mean, it's a pretty operating system. It's effective. So as you see, this is pure Google. You're going to get the icons pretty simple. There's no buttons at all. The Nexus ships with 4.2, which is the newest operating system by Google. Nexus devices always get first all the updates. So if you're going to get one of these devices, either the Galaxy Nexus, the Nexus 4, they will give you the priority when getting an update. The navigation is pretty simple. The icons are, of course, not as pretty as on the iPhone 5, but it's very effective. It's very quick. It's very smooth. And the interaction on your fingers with the screen, which is a little bigger, feels really good. So you see, they're pretty similar, but at the same time, they're very different. Android actually changes a lot when they go from a main operating system to another one. So when they go from a Jelly Bean, from Ice Cream Sandwich, and all those, they do change a lot on them. And it makes the phone feels a little different and a little newer. It's just a different experience. So operating system, which one do I like better? It's definitely the Nexus. And not because it's better per se, it's because it's more convenient for me and it's a little different than getting the same operating system all the time. You can get both of these devices, or like the 16 gig one, for pretty much the same price when you hit up a contract. However, if you would like to do it without a contract, the iPhone is definitely a little more expensive by $300. If you are doing it without contract, guys, I'm just gonna give you a recommendation. Wait for Google Play to have it on stock again. T-Mobile is charging $200 above regular price for the same thing. So be patient, just let Google replenish their stock. The technology that these devices use on the screen is an IPS LCD. Pixel density, it's a little higher on the iPhone. It's 326 versus 320. Quality of the screen, of course, cannot compare to the iPhone 5. I can tell you straight, the best screen that I work with so far, it's the iPhone. It's just so good. It looks great. It is just really good. So processor wise, of course, you know that this has a Snapdragon and this one has an A6. Both processors are pretty quick. They're pretty snappy, pretty fast phones. This Nexus has 4 cores at 1.5. This one has 2 cores at 1. However, the speed and the smoothness on it feels very good. So I cannot even complain about the cores. I'm not big on how many cores you have. I'm better off how efficient you manage those cores. Sadly to announce, these two devices do not have a slot for an extension on an SD card. We all know that they never do it. We know they never do it on the iPhone either. But, you know, it's something that I always keep my hopes up to find in one of these devices. The storage, especially now with cloud, you don't need that much room on it unless you're old school and like putting your music on it. So comparing, of course, the iPhone has Siri for you. So Siri, it's your assistant. And Google has Google Now. Before, I used to hate Siri. I mean, Siri hated me back, of course, because of my accent. So she did not like when I talked to her, and she would always keep me and get me confused. When Google Now came up, I really liked it, and I didn't want to go back and try Siri because I was still upset with her. However, now I can tell you the Siri's algorithm have changed and have been updated, and it's understanding me as good as Google Now. I like how more interactive Siri is, but Google Now does the job right. I don't find myself using this that much. I just do my searches with my fingers. So talking about fingers on this part, I'm a huge fan of operating devices with one hand and one hand only, as you see most of my videos. The one that wins that is the iPhone. The iPhone is a one-hand device. So for example, if you go to Safari and you go to the keyboard is right there. It's small, but it's small enough to have just one hand on it and still be really accurate. My S3, it took me a little bit to get used to it, while this one you don't take time to get used to it, you just jump on it. So that's pretty awesome. The Google phone is actually very close to it. It feels very good too. It feels natural. One hand, as you can see, my finger can pretty much reach there. This you have already shipped by default swipe. So swipe makes things sometimes very easy if you're getting used to it. I love it because it just makes everything faster and really easier. Battery life is so important for me that it will dictate what kind of device I'm getting. I don't like charging my phones all day every day at all times. It is just not convenient, especially right now. We're 2012, almost going 13, and we still have these problems with these new devices and their small batteries. The battery that the Nexus ships with is the 2100, and it's said to last 10 hours stock. I haven't get 10 hours stock, but I went through a day of it. And then you have the iPhone 5. Sadly, the iPhone 5 doesn't have the good battery that the iPhone 4 did. And the simple reason is because we took some toll on it because of the speed. But because especially AT&T dropped LTE on it. So having LTE on a device is just going to suck battery out. Now people, will take that toll because of the speeds. For me, T-Mobile speed is pretty decent, so it doesn't bother me that much. In this case, I will give it to the Google phone. Biggest question of all, which one should you pick? There is no answer for that, guys. You have to look at yourself and see what kind of user are you. I get that question so many times, all the time. It is the hardest question to answer because there is no right or wrong. But what I can tell you is don't choose for what everybody else is choosing. Go test it yourself. If you have a friend that has any of these devices, try it out before you commit to buying it, because you want to have the great experience as your device. You want it to control most of the things that you can and to be able to use it in a daily basis and be satisfied. If you like customizing, if you like modifying, definitely the Nexus 4 is going to be your phone because it's a developer phone. Apple is very close with their iOS, so until a jailbreak comes out, it's still running like stock operating system. Google is very good at that, and XDA developer has so many guys are genius working on ROMs for these things. So expect for customization, expect this, and with customization comes sometimes overclocking and underclocking, so which means that the battery life may end up being better on this phone by far than this device. So evaluate all those things. My choice is the Nexus 4. And why? Because I'm that kind of person. I like modding, I like ROMing, and I like doing all those kind of little tweaks on the phone. Keeps my phone looking different, and it doesn't give me the kind of like already boring, obsolete, same as before look. So I hope you guys enjoy this little video comparing these two devices. I tried to go in a really general way because I don't want to go that technical on you guys. You can find the specs on these devices on the website. I'm going to put a couple of links under my video so you can check them. Both of them are great devices. I believe that both will satisfy the customers. Just be sure to pick the one that you will really like and that you will think that you'll be happy with. Just be sure to choose smart and take your time while doing it. Alright, so this was the Nexus 4 comparison against the iPhone 5. You guys have a good day. Take care.